I'm not even sure. Just had to do the written exam, then prove to a driving instructor that I could actually drive the car. And boom, you got it. The U.S. is very pro-car. It's very easy to get your license here. So he doesn't really have too much of an excuse, especially if he's renewing his ID every single year. Getting your license is basically equally as easy as renewing your ID. So yeah, he doesn't have too much of an excuse. And then the fact that he just lies to the judge and lies to the media and paints this like fake story saying like, I was wronged here. Dude, you wronged yourself. And then you like double down on it. You tried to like lie yourself out of trouble, which apparently backfired. But hey, at least he's no terrible person, unlike this IRL streamer who filmed herself almost ending someone's life, laughed about it, and ran off. And that is just an absolutely insane story you can check out here. Also, drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and feel free to subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Panera's new Asiago bagel stacks are just $7.99 each, packed with bold flavors and here for a limited time.
Listen, I understand that it's becoming increasingly apparent that baseball is no longer America's pastime, but surely there's a better way to get attention than resorting to these scandalous tactics.
That's it. That's my intro.
I'm Mandy watching Small Entertainment, and I don't know if you can tell from the everything about me, but I am a creative who comes from a baseball family. It's part of me that I keep hidden, locked away, where no one can see it. But yes, I grew up in Orange County. I grew up going to Angels Stadium and going to Angels games. My family was a baseball family. My grandmother had the largest collection in Southern California at one point of Dodgers memorabilia. My little brother played baseball for years, t-ball, then baseball and all this stuff. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think he was that good. But, you know, it made him happy, and that's okay. There was also that time for 2 years in high school where my first real job was actually being a spy for my school's baseball team. We don't need to go into that because I'm not sure how legal that was, but I am 26 now.
That's my favorite pencil.
But I'm familiar with the game of baseball. I respect the game of baseball. I have never been the biggest of fans of it. I like going to baseball games. I don't like necessarily watching them the way that I like watching hockey or Formula One, okay? I will say that I very much enjoy it more now since they've introduced the pitch clock. Whoever came up with the pitch clock, I love you. You're super sexy. No idea what you look like, but I assume you're sexy. But first, let me tell you about the sponsor for today's video, June Sturdy. I don't know if I can properly convey you guys how excited I was when June Sturdy reached out to me to sponsor a video. I have been playing June Sturdy for literally years. I am at level 169. So much of my time has been taken up by June Sturdy. So let me tell you why you also need to play June Sturdy. June Sturdy is a hidden object mystery game set on an island in 1920. You are playing as June Parker, who has come to this island to try and solve the mystery of the murder of her sister, while also uncovering even more of your family's many secrets. The scenes take you through different spots on the island and different rooms on the island to try and find clues to figure out what happened to your sister. I like hidden object games because though they are still more relaxed than, say, fighting games, they're a little more focus intensive than, say, matchup games. As you unlock different levels, you are earning points that you can fix up your estate, as well as expand and add items to your island. I may have gone a little overboard with decorating my island. Think you can get to a higher level than me? Then go ahead and download June's Journey for free by clicking the link in the description box or scanning the QR code that's been on screen. Available on Android and iOS mobile devices. Thank you again to June's Journey for sponsoring this video. At the time you're recording this, training is still going on for the 2024 season of Major League Baseball. And so some photos have been coming out and some, you know, reports, some just things are coming out, okay, about the new jerseys and uniforms that they've been getting. The players, these professional baseball players have been getting, because there's a new provider, sort of.
Holy shit, there's people here. Leave more often.
Radar again recently because they weren't being talked about before all of this started, actually on Twitter, because some fans made some really cool NHL merch, like homemade merch that looked great, and a bunch of people were like, oh, see, this is what we could have. They're so focused post on Fanatics, and that was talking about the NHL and Fanatics, not the MLB. And then all of these photos started coming out. And so I'm just going to start showing you these photos because I think you'll start understanding what the problem is, okay? You see Major League Baseball, professional baseball players. That's who's wearing these jerseys. I've just been collecting these over the last couple of days, so a bunch of these are not in order. They're going to be like some timestamps some days.
Where's my goddamn eraser?
Just because of when I've collected the receipts.
This is the reason why everybody's so upset with Nike's new
Guys!
Starting this season, Nike and Fanatics are introducing their
I lost my big... Oh, here's my big pencil. This is my favorite one.
As the new fan jerseys have rolled out this offseason, a lot of people are upset with how they look and feel. On these new jerseys, the MLB logo has strangely been shifted below the collar, and the player's name has been shrunk and arched a lot, making them look a lot like jerseys or kid-size jerseys. There's also been a drop in quality with some really rough breaks between some of the word marks. Nothing being sewn on, just heat pressed, and a lot of people saying the jersey and patch material look and feel much cheaper. And although you will get sleeve patches and front numbers with these jerseys, they cost an extra $40 compared to the ones from last year. Now that MLB players are starting to return for spring training, some of them are voicing their frustrations on the jerseys too. Miles Michaelis said they don't fit right, another player said they look cheap, and another said, quote, I don't like
You do?
Now someone's going to be like, who cares?
I got it for my
Jerseys,
birthday.
They're going to get dirty, they're going to get beat up. There's a level of quality I think you would expect from the jerseys at various levels.
Oh, their website's on here.
You should not be able to go to Spirit Halloween and get a better looking jersey than
Faber-Castell?
someone on a major league team. Okay, and that's just logic. You cannot care about baseball. I barely care about baseball, but there's a level of quality that I think is just standard quality, okay, for the players. A lot of money. These players get paid a lot of money. Some of them hemorrhage money. But at the very least, these budgets and Fanatics, okay, specifically getting paid from this contract, there should be a level of like this back and forth for Crawford, the letters for Crawford, okay, the size of the three, the placement of the three, even now these photos are slightly one's lower than the other, okay, but the way the letters completely take over the back of his shoulder blades versus how skinny and small Crawford is, the letters are being essentially
Trying to draw Spider-Man, but I'm not getting this pose right.
by the three. If you look at it like those little fish game ads that you get all over other more fun game ads, you know, the ones where you're supposed to like the fish is in the other fish. You get my point. That's a tangent, but you get my point. It just looks goofy. The quality just isn't there. The letters, some of them, it looks like they straight up, they're ironed on patches almost versus stitching, even though I can tell they're stitching. But even on these, like the letters in a lot of instances, they're embroidered for the older styles. Canario as well just looks, it's not even center for his. The center with his name comparatively, the size is crazy. The letters look cramped. Crawford is the one that a lot of people have been showing just the drastic difference of the way the back looks. Garver as well, it looks like they smushed the R and the V together. For some reason, if anyone's letters are 2 digits, one of the letters is almost always lower than the other, and I don't know if that's the way they laid these out. I don't know if it's the way they produced these, but that's a consistency that I'm seeing that almost seems like a miscalibration in a machine somewhere. Like, it's so consistent. Verlander for 35. Verlander 1, it looks like they ran out of letter space for him, and also for the numbers as well. It looks like one of them, it's tilted to the side. Now, he is standing at an angle, but overall, just the quality in general, it's crazy. Alonso, 20, it looks blurry as hell. The Seattle Mariners patch is literally like a printed patch versus the embroidered patch they've previously had. I see the outline of the shirts. Okay, right now I'm talking about the jerseys because that's the main thing. Okay, that's what most people will be able to go and support their players, support their teams. Okay, they will go and buy a jersey with their player's number on it, typically. Okay, that's like the most common piece of fan merch when it comes to Major League sports, okay? Understandable, it's the most iconic part of the sport uniform is the jersey. Easiest of merch to replicate and sell. Now, if these were fan merch jerseys, I would be a little more understanding. Obviously, to make them more accessible, to mass produce them, the quality has to come down a little bit. Now, is that ethical? Not really, but you get what you pay with fan merch. These, though, are the players playing jerseys. Stuff, that's where you complain about them.
Have good food.
However, there's another piece of this that has changed as well, that the MLB is straight up gaslighting people into thinking is not different, and that's the players' pants. The jerseys, when those photos started leaking from just media complaining about that, but then we started getting more videos of the players' torsos and their top part of their legs in the shot, and that's when people started realizing that these pants loosened.
The dangerous game right now. Yes, the players and fans are complaining about how outrageously can feel, but if you look a bit closer, something far worse. The pants are see-through. Did they not test this? How did this happen? According to MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred, these Nike Vapor Premier jerseys, which are produced by Fanatics, were designed to be performance wear.
The jerseys are different. They're designed to be performance wear.
Well, let's just hope that performance isn't X-rated.
We've been seeing this the most, I would say, with teams whose uniforms have white pants. For the white pants, you can see straight up where they tucked in the tails of the jersey. In a lot of the players, you can see the outline of their briefs. And that is what I meant by scandalous tactics, okay? Because some of these photos, you're seeing full outlines of these players. Okay, listen, I don't need to see that. Buy me dinner. I don't need to see your balls. I don't want to see your outline, okay? Fanatics, why are you trying to force this upon me? What is, okay? So I'm not going to show those pictures because obviously I like being able to pay my rent. Hi, thank you for watching. It's ridiculous. So this one specifically, these are gray pants on this one. This is on Gibson, okay? And you can see at least the slight outline. I think I can see the tail of at least his boxers, if not the shirt. At the very least, it's the lining of like where the actual crease is of where he tucked it in. But for a lot of these players, we can see that line too. Totally can see those. So yeah, the top one is the shirt. So Ohtani, okay, signed with the Dodgers. Their uniforms right now, at least for spring training, are white jerseys, white pants. So Ohtani's, you can fully see where he tucked in the jersey. You also can see the line of where his boxer briefs end. Is this a ploy to get all baseball players to start wearing tidy whities? Because I don't think that's good. For sports, so here, this shot, I think this is the Padres. Their pants, you can't see much, but again, that could also be lighting wherever you're at. But the jerseys just all side by side look ridiculous. The sleeves look crazy. It looks almost like a football jersey, because football jerseys, sometimes the band is a little tighter around the bicep, okay, versus jerseys for baseball, where it is just like a regular flared sleeve. With football, it's almost like a little more cinched. It's more of an elastic on the jersey band, in some instances at least, okay? But that's almost what's looking like here. Real RGS on Twitter said, "Babe, wake up, MLB and Temu just dropped." This is Garver's jersey. This looks so ridiculous. God, it just, again, the R and the V together, there's a huge gap between the E and the R at the end of his name. The 8, again, I already talked about this, the 8 is lower. That's happening with a few people. Chavez posted a photo of his jersey with the letters messed up, and again, the 0 on the 10 lower. And Fanatics support replied to a tweet, "Hey there, it looks like we dropped the ball on this one. Send me a DM so I can learn more about this," because they thought it was a fan complaining about the quality. These are for professional Major League Baseball players. Oh God, this one's so goofy looking. Marte, sorry. They did him dirty like crazy. Jeez. I don't know how, as someone in quality control at all, you would look at these and be like, oh yeah, we're cool with our brand being tied to this shoddy work. Shoddy is the only word I can really, I would use a meaner word, but I mean, I think at a level like this, it's not like quality control. It's that there's something fundamentally wrong in the execution of these designs, of the manufacturing. Fuzzy from YT said, wait, if the MLB calling all of their players liars because a couple of players have publicly said, we hate the jerseys are bad quality, these are awful. MLB just said the pants are the same thickness and material as years prior. The uniform pants have the same material and thickness as the uniform pants used last season, MLB said in a statement per the Wall Street Journal's Lindsay Adler on social media. There were changes to the fabric of the jerseys, not the pants. So the changes to the jersey apparently is to make it more breathable. I don't know why that would make the patches look like they were sewn on by a toddler. I've seen toddlers do better sewing than that. I don't know why the materials being more breathable would lead to a worse quality of the patches being put on. That is a separate issue, and that tells me that there is something completely wrong about the entire production process, at the very least. If the quality of the shirts, the stitching. In some instances, I'm trying to find the photos of this right now, but in some of the photos I have seen, I believe on TikTok specifically, there are instances where the sleeves are completely separate stitching patterns, okay, completely separate styles of sleeve design at the base, like I mentioned how some of them look like football jerseys instead of baseball jerseys, completely different for different players on the same team. So when similar production batches essentially, and they're having different styles of sleeves being stitched on, that's ridiculous. Forget quality control, that's just not caring at all. As far as the pants go, I tweeted this when I saw that note as well. I said, I don't know how they can say this when the photos that we've been seeing. The only thing I can think of that would make the actual material the same as far as the pants go, and why the MLB is like, the pants are the same, no changes were made, you guys are being crazy. When visually we can see that there is clearly a difference in the material based on just the opacity of the pants, okay, is that the version that the MLB tested, either they're lying entirely about the testing, or the version they got had lining and the ones the players got doesn't. So the material might be the same, but previous versions of the pants had a form of lining, or were at least a 2-layer pant, okay, which would not be shocking. But even pants like this, even for spring training, for safety purposes, you don't want them to be 1 layer. That sounds like a shredded thigh waiting to happen. For the amount of sliding that baseball players tend to do, okay, or stumbling and just stumbling in the dirt or whatever and doing a tumble or whatever, there should be 2 layers on those pants. So that's what it looks like. The material could be the same, but there's a layer missing, which again comes down to production issues or just a complete mess up on Fanatics' part to begin with. So an account aptly named Fanatics Sucks on Twitter said, since 2022, Fanatics has been valued at over $30 billion, helped Nike destroy MLB jerseys, ruined the brands of Mitchell and Ness and Lids, ruined trading cards, struck a deal for NHL on ice jerseys that everyone is deathly worried about. Yeah, I'm worried too, okay? Really worried about those because of what we're seeing with the MLB. I'm not super confident for what they're going to do to the NHL.
Anytime you think these Fanatics uniforms can't get any worse, they do. I mean, look at this. Can you believe this is not a replica given to some fan? This is not a fan jersey. This is an on-field jersey that an MLB player was given in the locker room. Are we serious here? Now, not only are the jerseys bad, the pants are completely see-through. What the hell? I mean, this is terrible. Like, you can see way too much. And thank God we have somebody like Trey Turner to just call it how it is. Everybody hates them, talking about the new MLB jerseys. They're lighter and more breathable. Great. I think players will sacrifice a little breathability so they're not showing their bare-ass thighs to national television.
Sorry, I guess I've been really harsh on Fanatics, and I should be also harsh on Nike, who are also doing this because it's a Nike Fanatics co-project. So Nike, you're not escaping this either. You also especially should have better quality than this. All in all, I don't think this is going to change anything until a player just takes one for the team and goes out on the field during a raining game with no underwear on. I really think that that's what it would take, really. Or start writing political messages on your chest in like black ink or something, so that when it rains, we see that. Any black ink tattoos that are a little sus, those might come out. I think the budget's already there. I think they already paid them a lot of money. I think it's going to be annoying for at least another season now that we have these. We'll see how it goes, but I think Backlash is the only thing that like fans can really do at this point. And then also just not buy the new jerseys. I mean, if they see a sharp drop off in jersey sales, that's going to be the thing that they look at the most, is, acting with your wallet versus, not. So this is a great time to start looking at Etsy or other fan-run sites that make independent jerseys or independent merch. That's a great thing to look at. A lot of vintage jerseys, a lot of things like that, they end up in Goodwill or at different vintage shops. They don't all end up being $1 bajillion. Okay, I'm not talking about those ones. I'm talking about ones that just someone wore because they liked a player and then they got traded or whatever. You get my point. Like, there's a variety of ways to find jerseys that are older, okay, secondhand. Depop, Poshmark, eBay, a bunch of those are probably going to have jerseys. Same with kid sizes, they showed kid sizes as well. So if you really don't like these jerseys and you want them to be better in the future, one way that fans can specifically act is by not buying the new Fanatics jerseys that they sell for fans. That is an easy way for them to at least try and start making, they'll at least start looking at that more. Hit them where they hurt, their pockets. Because we can see through their pockets on their players' uniforms. Anyways, that's going to be it. Did you see these jerseys? Do you have thoughts on these jerseys? Did you hate baseball? Are you now very excited for baseball and you're hoping for a rainy game? I am. Let me know. Comment down below. Reminder of a podcast. Reminder that I am now streaming on Twitch. Reminder that the small entertainment is now available on Spotify. Shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for supporting me on Patreon. You can also support my Patreon. That was down below. I follow me on social media. That'd be all up here. And that's going to have all the day. Goodbye.
Wix, one platform, any website, unlimited creation. Describe your needs and goals, and AI will transform your tailored brief into a unique website that's ready to perform in minutes. Customize it. Shape your visitor's experience down to the finest detail. Monitor, measure, and manage all your website's activity from one place. Personalize, customize, Wix.
Always dry scoop before you run.
Listen to me. Hot dog diet got me shredded. It's time we listen to science.
This show kind of feels like Peacock decided to take the most unhinged parts of Love is Blind and the most unhinged parts of The Ultimatum and mash them together.
That's it. That's my intro.
Hi, I'm Amanda, you're watching Small Entertainment, and today we are talking about a new show that just came out from Peacock, a love reality show titled Couple or Throuple. And yes, it is exactly what it says on the tin. I'm also currently in a hotel room in Austin right now for South by Southwest. I have a window here. I had a light, but it started flickering, so I apologize for the lighting in this video. I'm sure the audio is also going to be a mess because I have my mic here because I have no other way of getting it directionally lower than me without being in frame. So you see it, I just saw it's in frame. So there's the mic. Damn it. So the title of the show is Couple to Throuple. Originally I thought it was Couple or Throuple, or at least that's what I thought the TikTok had said, because they basically made it sound like it was kind of up in the air. And the whole concept of the show seems like maybe they thought about it kind of being up in the air, but then they were like, oh no, these people really want a third, so it's couple to throuple. But I would not be shocked if the initial core of the premise of them getting on the show of oh, are you happy with your partner, or do you want to add in a third? Because a lot of the exercises and things that they're doing almost sound like they're are you sure this is something that you want? But it seems like everyone pretty much wants this, so it's yeah, no, throuples, that's what's happening. But really quick, let me tell you about the sponsor for today's video, Lilo, because they have a super special giveaway happening right now. Lilo is a great supporter of this channel, and every time I work with them, they send me something new, and this time they sent me the Siri 3. The Layla Siri 3 uses sound sense technology and couples themselves, not their third. We'll talk more about that as we get through some of the episodes. Also, I should note, I'm only really going to be talking about the first 3 episodes and then part of the 4th episode because they got my ass. They got my ass on the editing. I fully was okay, 3 episodes in, and then we're not going to watch the rest so that I don't go overboard in discussing things with you guys, because if you want to watch the show, you'll watch the show. But also, I don't think the ending is really important. It's the concept of the show in general that I find interesting more than anything. And then also, it's kind of funny because with The Ultimatum specifically, that one scene at the dinner table where they're all sitting around, that is where I stopped watching because it stressed me out. I don't want to get further down the line with this show. I think it would just make me go insane. We're just going to talk about the first 3 episodes and then part of the 4th episode because, like I said, they got my ass with that cliffhanger editing. That was rude. It came out of left field. It stressed me out. I had to watch on to figure out what was going on so I wouldn't lose my mind for filming this video, so we will talk about that as well. So spoilers till the first 5 minutes of the 4th episode. But here are the couples. We've got Brittany Babe and Sean Williams, and I liked them because I thought they reminded me of a lot of couples that I've seen actually, where they're both very comfortable with each other to the point where people don't even realize that they're dating out and about, they seem more like friends, but it's just because of how comfortable they are together, and they just know each other's dynamics really, really well, which has led to some things during the actual relationship portion with their third that we'll talk about. And then we've got Rayman Body and Ashmal Ali. They are also a fun couple. Then we've got Dylan and Bear. They are married. They're both like fitness people, I would say. Her Instagram is literally fitness first. Okay, so yes, they are both fitness people. Wilder Bunk and Corey Potter. Their story is interesting. We'll talk more as we go on. The show starts out like they all come in. They're kind of thrown right on into it with like a mixer party where just all the singles are there to meet them. And that was really fun as well to see the dynamics of these couples in that type of setting because they know that everyone there is down for, you know, to be a third. That's why they're there. That's why the singles are there. But then it was really interesting to see how like the different dynamics of these couples played out as well. Like for example, Wilder and Corey. Corey was really like shy with it, but she was like, oh my god, I really like her. Like, can you go and get her to talk to me or whatever? And so like Wilder would like go and talk to the girls and be like, oh hey, come meet Corey. Then they would like, then she would open up a lot more, which I thought was really interesting. Dylan and Lauren really just clicked with like almost every single person they talked to. Same with Rahman and Ashmal. They were like, yeah, I'd like be open to a woman, just kind of like really connecting with people. A lot of the singles, which I think is also probably good because it probably would have been really easy for the show just to get like a bunch of super hot people and just go off of that. And so you would get people who were like, oh yeah, no, I'm only interested in like dating one of these people type of thing. But like pretty much everyone was like open to dating two people, which it sounds stupid to say that. The way a lot of these castings work, and like specifically the Ultimatum, I know a lot of the cast members have come out and said like, we did not know what we were walking into. We did not think that's what it was when we signed up or whatever. They just told us that once we got on set. They're like, oh yeah, you're gonna have to demand a proposal or something by the end of this. And so they easily could have gotten a bunch of people to show up that weren't down to date a couple, that were just like, oh, I just thought I was going on a dating show. But like pretty much everyone that was the singles either were open to dating couples, had dated multiple genders or multiple people, or were polyamorous openly, or were previously in like essentially long-term relationships with established couples, which I thought was actually really good casting. Shows usually fall apart in the casting process. Also, side note, mostly unrelated, the entire cast, couples and the actual singles as well, everyone's hot, but like attainable hot. That sounds mean, but I just mean sometimes these shows, they just go like, oh yes, the tippy top Instagram models, and they have some of those on here, but like everyone's hot in a way where it's like, oh yes, I would be comfortable to go and talk to you at a bar or something. You know, I wouldn't be in a bar, but like you get my point. I'm assuming realistically hot is the word I'm looking for. It's really interesting to see also like which singles kind of gravitate towards a more like, okay, yeah, I'm the one with experience role. Hi, like the more dominant role, if that makes sense, in like talking to the couples and all of that. It's like, oh yeah, no, I know exactly what I'm doing. Here you go. Some of the couples were really good about explaining like what they were interested in, what they were looking for. Some of them talked about boundaries. Same with the couple. Some of them were like, oh, what are your boundaries? Things like that. And it would always be interesting to see really which people gravitated towards which singles. So then the singles all leave and the couples get the resort. This whole thing is taking place at a resort that's almost more like a house style resort than anything. So then the couples are all discussing it. They're talking about which singles they like, checking in with each other about